Highness, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a real delight to be here in Copenhagen. When I heard I was going to speak at the Copenhagen Fashion Summit, and I told my friends and family, they were somewhat alarmed because I'm not known to be a fashionista. And I have been very lucky to have been doing some work with Marks and Spencer's over the last 18 months. So I put a rather panicked call into them to say, could they help equip me with the right clothing? And I'm proud to be wearing a Richard James suit, Savile Row inspired. M&S claim it to be the world's most sustainable suit. And during the course of my presentation, I'll make a few references to it. So I want to start with a bit of context and then offer 5 areas of opportunity and innovation, which I think will be very relevant to your sector. To start with the context, now I've been working in this space for 20 years or so in trying to help companies understand sustainability and how it can be a driver of innovation. Last year we did a piece of work with the Secretary General and the UN Global Compact, and we surveyed 1,000 CEOs worldwide. And we found that 70% of CEOs believe that we're not on track to meet the growing demands of a population within resource and environmental constraints. And in fact, the CEOs who responded from the Nordics, 90% of CEOs believe in the Nordics that we're not on track. And we also asked them about how business was doing, and we found that 70% of CEOs believe that business is just not doing enough. Now, I think back to 2002 when I heard Kofi Annan speak in Johannesburg at the Earth Summit, the second Earth Summit, and he challenged the business community because business has the technology, the scale, the resources, the capability to deliver the change that's needed. And yet I think over the last 14 years, we haven't seen the transformation that we need to see. And that frustration is shared by Mark Bolland at M&S, and you'll be aware Marks and Spencer's have set a very ambitious Plan A to transform their business. And he wanted to understand how could he start to engage other UK companies in how we could start to encourage this transformation. Because I think we're still stuck in this paradigm of corporate social responsibility, of philanthropy, of risk management, of incremental improvement. Wonderful pilots, amazing examples of efforts to drive sustainability, but we now need to move to scale. And his challenge was, how can I start to articulate this challenge to see sustainability as a driver of business transformation? And so we embarked on a project with him. We looked at 20 UK companies, and we engaged with their CEOs to understand what resonated. And what we found was, talking about us all going to hell in a handcart, the doom and gloom that we often use when we talk about sustainability is not working for them. That we need to change the lens and start to talk about innovation, disruption, where are the business opportunities. And so we published a report called Fortune Favours the Brave, which outlines these 5 areas of opportunity. And in aggregate, these opportunities offer the UK economy, UK companies, the potential to deliver £100 billion worth of productivity improvements, as well as opening up markets for sustainable products and services that we think is worth about 200 billion per year, every year through to 2020. So what we're saying is we think sustainability is a driver of opportunity, and let me take you through those 5 areas. The first is about new consumption models. I think this is a big challenge for your industry, is how can we shift from selling volume product to selling services? And there's a great example in the UK of Girl Meets Dress, where women can rent a dress. They can access luxury goods, luxury products at an affordable price to rent a dress for a short period of time. And also the sharing economy, the fact that, in my village, we all have hedge trimmers. It doesn't make any sense we use them once a year. Or a drill, the company called Kingfisher reckon that the drill is used for 6 minutes in its entire lifespan for drilling holes. Why don't we start to share some of these products? And in the UK, the sharing economy is very real. It's already worth 1% of GDP. So this isn't a nice idea. It's actually happening, and it's very relevant to your sector. The second is around transparency and customer engagement. Consumers want to know where their products come from. And this Richard James suit inside, those of you at the back won't be able to see, but there's a QR code which I can scan. And I can find out all the details about the product. The wool is fully certifiable. They know which farms produced it. It's fully organic. If I scan the code, I can get all the details about all the environmental and social standards that the suit meets. And the market for certified and eco-labeled products in the UK has been growing at about 14% year on year since 2000. So again, this is a real market. The third area is around resource efficiency. Now, we've been talking about resource efficiency for a long time, but in the UK, we estimate there's about a £61 billion opportunity for productivity improvements by using less energy, less water, less resources. Marks and Spencer's, for example, have been partnering with the Better Cotton Initiative to drive reductions in water, in pesticides, in fertilizers, in cotton production. And they found that those companies who've taken part in that initiative are 30% more profitable than companies that are not. So a huge opportunity to drive efficiencies and cost savings with more with less. The fourth area is a very new concept that's being talked a lot about at the moment, is the circular economy. Today we have very linear value chains. We take raw materials, we make product, and we send it into landfill. The average product in the UK, 90% of the products that we consume, at the end of 6 months, they're disposed. We send 10,000 garments to landfill every 5 minutes in the UK. So there's a real challenge for this industry to find ways in which we can redirect those textiles into new uses. And this suit, again, all of the additional materials, the buttons are reclaimed, the canvas is from reclaimed polyester, all of the padding is from textiles that M&S have recovered through their swapping program. So again, a real challenge: how do we create more circular models in the way in which we bring product to market? And the final area is around shared value, which is perhaps a more strategic challenge for companies, which is how do we align our core purpose with delivering value to society. And I've done a lot of work in the telecoms industry, and I'm fascinated by work that Vodafone is doing, just as an example, where they want to use, their mission is to use mobile to transform societies for the better. And the work they're doing in setting up connected farmer clubs, for example, where they're using mobile as a tool to help improve farmer livelihoods, is one example of where they're using their core purpose, their core capability to deliver a social benefit. So I hope those are 5 useful, fairly pragmatic ideas. My challenge to you is to take those. Chris Fidstein, who leads our sustainability practice in Denmark, is sitting here. We have access to the report, the toolkits, and I encourage you to dig in and use this, and perhaps I can come back in a couple of years' time and see how you're getting on. Thank you very much.